This is your friend Napoleon Pobee, welcoming you on behalf of the HAICAD team to HAICAD's Leadership 360. This is where we talk everything leadership. This is where we discuss things concerning personal development and our growth. We're growing together as a community. And if this is your first time, I encourage you click on that subscribe button. Click also on the bell button. It allows you to receive notification when we put the material out there, and then you can access it immediately. This is the final part where we're looking at the salary mentality, and we talked about the nomadic mentality, we talked about the consumer mentality, we discussed also the materialism mentality, and then the entitlement mentality. And in this episode, we are looking at the salary mentality as the grand finale to our discussion on this whole issue of toxic mentalities that stand in your way, that could prevent you from becoming who you want to become, from having what you want to have, and from doing the things that you so desire to do. And in this episode, we'll be looking at what benefits there are before we go into the mentality, what benefits there are to employment. And then we'll look at what is salary or wage. We'll look at the salary mentality. We'll look at characteristics of salary. And then we'll look at how do I delete the salary mentality. Let me start with some quotations. And once we're talking about salary, who else to start with a quote for us than Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett says that if your salary is your only source of income, you are one step away from poverty. Let me repeat that for you. If your salary is your only source of income, you are one step away from poverty. Another quote is by Stephen Hogan. Stephen Hogan says that you can't have $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic. You can have $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic. There's a third quote by Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn says that if you are not willing to risk the usual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. If you are not willing to risk the usual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. And on this note that I invite you, let's dive deep into our discussion. We said that mindsets generally are the beliefs that affect a person's attitude, those beliefs that could affect your attitude, your behavior, how you go about things, your outlook on life. And then we said toxic mentalities are those mindsets that have the power to ruin our lives or hold us back from living the life that we want or achieving the goals that we want to achieve. These things can stand in your way and they can prevent you from achieving what it is that you want to achieve. We talked about different toxic mentalities, the nomadic, the consumer, the materialistic, the entitlement mentality, and you want to check them out on this channel. All the recordings are there, beginning with delete the toxic mentalities. You will see the consumer and materialistic mentality. You will see also the entitlement mentality. If you've not watched them yet, I encourage you, please watch these ones, connect all of them together and eradicate these toxic mentalities out of your life so you can live the life that you want to. Now, when you talk about salary mentality, I just want to place on record that I'm not against salary, I'm not against employment. And so just for you to know, employment is very, very important. One of the ways of getting livelihood for your family and your household is by getting employed. Gainful employment ensures that for you. Employment also gives you the opportunity, as you work for somebody, you begin to develop a career, you generate insightful and progressive concepts, you get the understanding of the world of work. I remember the very first time I started working, I didn't even know how to do a photocopy. At the office, they just gave me the document and said the photocopy machine is there. Go and do it. And I never knew how to do it until I started working. So you will gain some of these insights. You can also gather the tools and the things that are essential for you to develop the right work ethic. If you have not developed that working for someone, if you cannot be trusted with that which is for another man, how can you be trusted with your own? And so for you to build that right work ethic, so you'll be able to build your own when that is entrusted to you. Employment gives you that opportunity to develop those concepts and to develop that kind of work ethic that you need. Salary is payment for non-manual work. Usually it's a fixed sum of money, either annual sum or a monthly sum. It is paid at regular intervals, usually monthly, and is given to an employee, especially of the professional or clerical side of work. These people are giving the salary. Now, we can also look at it as a fixed amount paid to someone for the work the person is employed to do. So there is something you are employed to do, and you are remunerated, you are paid salary at a regular interval for the work that you do. Now, this can be contrasted with wages, where each job or hour or a unit is paid separately. So you are paid per hour, or you are paid for moving one load from here to this other place, and it's just direct. Once you clear one unit, you are paid for that one unit rather than on a periodic basis, and that is how you differentiate. So a wage is a sum of money paid to a worker in exchange for services, especially for work performed on an hourly, daily, or weekly basis, or by the piece, whatever unit that you have done. Now let's talk about the salary mentality. What we mean when we say a salary mentality or a wage mentality, it is simply the belief that only through an employer can you gain financial independence. So you cannot achieve or maintain financial independence without your salary or without an employer. Now, if you have that kind of mentality, then we say you have a salary mentality. And this can be a hindrance towards growth, because, see, it limits or it kind of distorts your understanding of financial freedom when it comes to you appreciating what financial freedom is, or you creating the kind of life that you want to have. When you have that mindset or mentality that you have to depend on your salary, you have to depend on your employer before you achieve that, it limits, it distorts your financial freedom, your understanding of that. It also creates a system of dependence and inferiority, because you're going to depend on someone. Someone is going to determine how much you earn at the end of the month or at the end of the period, and that kind of affects your growth. And somehow it also gives you a false sense of security. There's something that makes you think that, oh, your job is secure, your salary is secure, no matter how bad it is. At the end of the month, you will receive your pay. At the end of the month, the pay will come in, and everyone is looking forward to that payday. And it's like, if it's bad at all, it's not as bad as payday. But let's talk about salary and the characteristics of salary. Salary is fixed. You must appreciate that. It's fixed. Once it is fixed, it is fixed. It's fixed for a period, and it's determined by someone else other than you. You don't determine your salary. It does not increase except someone decides. Someone just decides how much it should increase. In one place where I work, the boss had promised a colleague of mine that I'm going to increase your salary. When that time time came, he said, well, I said I'm going to increase it. I'm no more interested in increasing it. So you have to make do with what you have. I've experienced instances like that, even in my own life, in my working life, where the boss says that, well, give me some time, give me some time, give me some time, after promising that I'm going to increase it. Now, salary also, you have to note that it only comes when you labor for it. No work, no pay. It stops when you stop working. Salary stops when you stop working. It can be delayed, it can be withheld, it can be deducted, it can even be stopped by someone else. Some people are experiencing that and asking themselves, has the thing dropped? Have you received the alert? And people are checking. It can be delayed. Someone can deduct something out of it. There was a story of Zlatan Ibrahimovic when the Man United took £1 out of his salary for a certain behavior, and now that guy made a lot of noise about it and said they have a small mentality. That is how he described Man. So the salary, you have to also understand that it is never a true reflection of your value. It's never a true reflection of your worth or what it is that you can do. If you want to measure who you are and what you are capable of, salary is not a good measure. Let's just oppose that with income. If you just flip it and look at it as an income, you realize that income varies. It's not fixed. It varies with time. Today you may be earning this. You just think about it. If you are earning commission, your commission can change today, it can change tomorrow. You can determine also your income level. I remember the days when I was a Shushan boy in Accra, moving from Odoko official town, the Akuma area. And in those days, getting to a certain time, I'll just check how much money I've made so far. And depending on where I have gotten to, I speed up to cover a lot more space so that I can make more money. Because the more space you cover beating that box that I'm carrying, the more people will invite me to their homes to, mend their sandals or their shoes, or polish their sandals or their shoes for them. Now, income, on the other hand, it doesn't depend on people's limitations, and it comes whether you labor or not, because a system has been set in place, and if you pursue income, you are likely to have, maybe passive income or other income that you don't need to labor before you receive, and it's free from the manipulation of man. Lifestyle inflation, that is, look, if your salary is increased, your lifestyle will be adjusted to accommodate the salary increase. And that is why people's salaries are increased and promotions come, but you realize that still the money is not enough, the salary is not enough. Lifestyle inflation, at a point in time you feel like, oh, now I'm earning $1,000. With $1,000 I can buy the $200 suit, or I can afford to eat breakfast in a restaurant, or I can move from the roadside to a certain ambience, and now I can afford it. And then you tell yourself, oh, this will motivate me to work harder. So that is lifestyle inflation. Your lifestyle will change as your salary also goes up, or as you are promoted. And that is why we are talking about this thing, my dear friend. If you don't delete this salary mentality, depending on salary, and the fact that if you are fired today, if your boss showed up and said that, look, from tomorrow we are not going to work because of ABC, what will your situation be? That tells how dependent you are on salary, and the fact that without your salary you can't do anything about your life. So many people stay in this poverty zone because they live all their lives expecting their boss, expecting their employer, or expecting their government or the state to work at making them rich and wealthy. But That does not happen. It is not your employer's responsibility to make you rich. It's your responsibility. That responsibility is yours. It lies squarely in front of you. And you must understand that your salary is not a source. Your salary is a resource. You can take that resource and determine what it is that you will do with that resource. So it's not really about how much you make or how much you earn at the end of the month or at the end of the year, but what you make with what you earn. How do you use what you earn? There are people who are earning 500 and it's enough for them. There are others who are earning 1,000 and it's not enough for them. And it's because of what you do or make out of what you earn. If you do the right thing with what you earn, you can change your situation. And that is why it's important to delete that salary mentality and begin to think about it in terms of income. You know, when you move from salary mentality to income and investment mentality, it helps you. It helps you. It helps you to make that shift that allows you to see yourself as an income earner. And when you see yourself as an income earner, you begin to identify ways of increasing your earning power, your earning potential, because you understand that your income is not fixed. You can do something about it. And I just want to encourage you, look, drop that salary mentality. Just drop it somewhere and begin to think income, begin to think investment, begin to think about what other sources you can bring on board to ensure that financial stability and independence that you are looking forward to. Now, to conclude, I want to say that whether it is nomadic mentality or consumer mentality or materialism mentality or entitlement mentality or what we are discussing today, if it is a salary mentality, you just want to observe that this thing will keep you stuck. It will stop you in your tracks from progressing, from being and having and doing more in your life. So you need to delete these toxic mentalities from your mind and free yourself and move into that space of abundance that assures you that there is enough for everybody. So develop basic financial knowledge. Begin to build your financial knowledge. Like, how do you get out of debt? How do you manage your funds and create emergency funds? And how do you manage your bills? And how do you take care of all the things that you need to take care of? This involves you developing financial knowledge. You need a literacy so far as finances are concerned. This sets you up for success. The moment you are building that knowledge, it sets you up for success. No matter how much you are bringing in or how much you are spending, it just sets you up for success. And as we talking these toxic mentalities and deleting them, I have good news for you. There is a huge announcement. We have a masterclass that is upcoming on Wednesday, the 23rd of March. I guess you have already registered by now. If you've not done that, please get yourself registered. It's going to be live on Zoom at 7 p.m. GMT, all right? Wednesday, 23rd of March. And we are going to have a good time with the managing director of one of the mining companies in Ghana, Anglogold Ashanti, the Iduapriem Mine. The managing director, Mr. Boakye Pobee, will be in the house with us, coming to share with us on the topic, the principles for accelerating to the top. The principles for accelerating to the top. Someone wants to accelerate to the top. You want to make that impact and you want to have influence over your community and your society and you want to make a day. It's free. Registration is free. So the link to you registering is in the description to this video, and you want to click on that link and you want to get yourself registered and make a date with us. 23rd of March, Wednesday at 7 p.m. we are going to be live on Zoom. Register, share the link also with your friends, invite them to register, and let's learn, let's grow, let's raise ourselves and accelerate our lives to the top and reach where exactly we want to reach. Please, I encourage you again, subscribe to this channel, share the video with your friends, invite your friends to also subscribe, and together let us grow and let us increase until we meet again in that masterclass on the 23rd of March. It is from us to you. Take care, be safe, and stay blessed. Bye bye.